So I just got back from the pool. We were swimming for like 6 hours and I'm exhausted, but I'm just making a pizza and I was thinking about this earlier. Today I was actually in the present moment because there's this other mom that I hang with that's like older than me. She's like in her 50s.
Oh, your
But
birthday?
she tomorrow's my birthday, baby.
Tomorrow your birthday?
Yes, tomorrow's my birthday.
You have to eat cake.
Okay, baby. Can I record this video, please?
Okay.
Thank you. So, thank you. So, I love you, baby. So, yeah, so one of the moms that I'm friends with, who I was saying that's older than me, she has a son that's like, thank you, baby. She has a son that's like 8 or 10 years old, and they came today to the pool and they were swimming with us. And she has another older son that's like 26, and he has a 2-year-old baby. So him, his girlfriend, the and the son that's Liam's age, they all came to the pool and we had like so much fun, and like it actually got me to be in the present moment because I was around people, so I like didn't get lost in my thoughts because I was hanging out with people. So it was nice. Like I was actually like, we had fun. We had a lot of like, we had a good day. It was cool, right? But earlier today, before I went to the pool, a thought came to me, but I didn't have time to record a video on it, and it was just about how um, the blueprint of our life. So I was just thinking about like the blueprint of our lives, right? Like so much information we just adopt and we accept, and it's like, where did it come from, and why is this the general consensus? Based on history and what they tell us in the books, in school, like we know that all that stuff is not true and misconstrued, and like yeah, there might be nuggets of truth, just like in the Bible there might be nuggets of truth, but like why are we accepting this as the truth, be all end all, without doing our research and finding contradicting information and also the same information to see whether it aligns or not, right? We've adopted things as truth, but we don't know whether it's the truth or not. Like, for example, I've even been preaching this about our blueprint, that how our blueprint is, we create our blueprint before we come into this world, right? As a soul. And I don't know if Bashar preaches about this as well, but I've heard this in other videos and stuff like that, Torah readers, along with other videos that I've watched that talk about this blueprint of our lives. So it's like I've said this as well about the blueprint, that when we come into this world, before we come into this world, we create the blueprint of the soul connections, how our life is going to look, and how it's going to play out. But I don't know if I necessarily think that's true, because think about it. Like, say we look at this as a video game, right? And all the challenges you go through are just a video game because you're just in this body, but you're not technically, it doesn't mean that game over, right? Because your soul lives on. But at the same time, all the things that you go through, all the hardships, it impacts your soul. So it's like, yeah, no matter how many years go by, like for example, you have heartbreak, like if it's something that like someone that was like felt like a true soulmate and like a missed opportunity, like you're gonna feel that heartbreak for the rest of your life probably. No matter how much healing work you do, no matter how much understanding you do, especially when you don't get closure from a situation, it's harder. That's why we have to give ourselves closure. But you'll still experience that pain, right? And you can go through life and keep going and being happy and being positive and living your life, but when you think about that person, you'll still feel that pain of losing that person. Just like when people lose, so it's like, yeah, you'll still think about what missed that person, what could have been. Just like when people grieve a person, when they lose them, a parent figure, a friend, a relationship, a partner, like whatever, right? Like you grieve that person and you still miss that person and you still think about that person. So it's like one of those things that if we create the blueprint to our lives, then would we really put ourselves in hard situations to actualize our soul? Like, so it just makes me think, like, we all want to, like, our whole purpose as a soul is to raise our frequency. But would we choose to have the hard life that could potentially break us? Like, you know what I mean? Like, things break you, and I think they break you at a soul level. They make you feel numb, or they make you dive on this path of negativity and engaging in substances and all these things to numb it out because the challenges feel too hard. So it's like a part of me feels like, yes, like the challenges that I've gone through, like they broke me, but I chose to get back up, right? And I don't know why I had that inside of me, why that was something that I was capable of doing. But other souls, the situations, if they've gone through stuff that I went through or worse stuff that they've gone through, they, a lot of people break and they don't get back up and they give up, right? So it's like, if we create the blueprint, would we choose to come into something like that just to test ourselves? Like, would we really choose to have something so challenging with the chance of it breaking us to the point where it's going to lower our frequency instead of raising our frequency? Like, would we choose to gamble? Would we choose to take that risk knowing that it could bring our frequency down lower and lower, right? Or are people that have really tough situations, they were negative being, like negative the energy, like they operated from a negative place in their past life, so they choose to have something challenging so that they can raise their frequency because they're already a negative person, right? But I don't know, like this is why it's like something that I question about this blueprint, that we come in there and we choose our blueprint, because like, think about it, like cows, dogs, animals, insects, like they all have souls within them. Like, I think that it's one of those things that with animals and people and bugs and all these things is because there's so many of them. And for example, I always say like there's human dogs and there's dogs. There's dogs that you can tell, you look in their eyes and they're like aware of what you're telling them, right? And then there's dogs where there's like, you look at them and they're like food, water, like treat, right? Like you can tell that they're not thinking about anything deeper. And that goes with humanity as well. There's humans that are thinking about things on a deeper level, and there's humans that are just so stuck in the 3D matrix that they can't think outside of that. So it's like, it's hard to know. And they say that like some people come in their rest life, so they don't want to go through challenges and they just want to rest and go through like be stuck in the 3D basically, because they don't want to go through the challenges to raise their frequency because they went through such a hard life before that. But I don't know, like something about it just doesn't add up for me. And I'm not really sure why it is, but it's just the way that things operate and how we create our own reality and all these stuff. It's like almost like we get thrown into a situation and it's either make it or break it, and it's almost like we're randomly thrown into something, or we're thrown into something based on the frequency that we had in our previous life. So if we're a negative being, we get thrown into something more challenging, more where we suffer in the current life because of all the negative stuff that we did before. If we were a good person in the in the previous life, then we might come back having certain things, right? We might be beautiful. We might have a beautiful soul, beautiful on the inside, outside. We might just have certain things, advantages, like jack of all trades. But there's other things that we go through, challenges, because for that's set up for us because we're capable of doing it if we choose to. So it's meant for us to go through that so that we could raise our frequency higher and higher. So NPCs, like, they're basically like code, right? Like, they're like AI. They're there to mislead you and get you to believe in the system, what the system believes in, and try to like nudge you in that direction. So they don't have a soul. They're just there as program coded, like in the Matrix, right? The agents are like program coded. So my point is that, like, okay, so every single species has NPCs in it because they're just there to like take up space. And when it's like, say, chicken or a cow or something, do you think that people would actually choose to come back as that? Or even a bug, like you're going to choose to come back for such a short lifespan, because bugs don't live that long. Like, a lot of bugs don't live that long. And like, would you really choose that? Like, in your blueprint, you're going to create a whole blueprint. Like, what's your like purpose? Your